Top 30 Cashier Interview Questions and Answers. A cashier plays an important role in creating a shopping experience while handling payments accurately and responsibly. Employers look for candidates who can communicate well, stay calm under pressure, manage cash carefully, and provide excellent customer service. In this guide, you will find 30 common cashier interview questions and answers designed to help you prepare confidently. Each answer highlights practical skills, workplace behavior, problem solving, teamwork, and professionalism. Review these examples, understand the ideas behind them, and adapt the wording to match your own experience and personality during your interview. 1. What are the main responsibilities of a cashier? Cashiers are responsible for processing customer transactions accurately, handling payments, issuing receipts, and providing friendly service. I would focus on accuracy, speed, honesty, and professionalism throughout every transaction. I would carefully count cash, verify payment amounts, and follow company procedures for card and digital payments. I would also keep my register organized and report discrepancies promptly. Most importantly, I would treat every customer respectfully, even during busy periods, while maintaining a positive attitude and dependable service throughout. 2. What does good customer service mean to you? Customer service means making every customer feel welcomed, respected, and supported during their shopping experience. As a cashier, I would greet customers politely, listen carefully, answer questions when possible, and remain patient when problems arise. I would process transactions efficiently without making customers feel rushed. If I could not solve an issue, I would contact a supervisor promptly. My goal would be to create a pleasant checkout experience while protecting accuracy, company policies, and customer satisfaction throughout every interaction consistently. 3. How would you handle an upset customer? I would handle an upset customer by remaining calm, listening carefully, and avoiding arguments. First, I would allow the customer to explain the problem without interrupting. Then, I would acknowledge their concern and explain what I can do within company policy. If the situation required authorization or a decision beyond my responsibility, I would involve a supervisor. I would never respond emotionally or blame the customer. Staying respectful and solution-focused usually helps reduce tension and protects the company's reputation during difficult situations. 4. Why is accuracy important for a cashier? Accuracy is extremely important because a small cashiering mistake can affect customers, inventory records, and the company's finances. I maintain accuracy by staying focused, checking prices, counting cash carefully, and confirming payment amounts before completing transactions. I avoid unnecessary distractions and follow established procedures consistently. When handling change, I count it carefully before giving it to the customer. I also review receipts and report errors immediately rather than hiding them. Accuracy builds trust and demonstrates professional responsibility in every transaction. 5. What would you do if your cash drawer did not balance? If my cash drawer did not balance, I would first remain calm and review the transaction records carefully. I would recount the cash, check receipts, and look for possible errors involving change, refunds, voids, or payment entries. If I still could not identify the difference, I would report it honestly to my supervisor according to company policy. I would never alter records or attempt to hide the shortage. I believe transparency is essential when handling money and maintaining financial accountability at work. 6. How do you handle working during busy periods? I can work effectively during busy periods by staying organized, focused, and calm. I prioritize customers while maintaining accuracy instead of allowing pressure to cause mistakes. I prepare my workstation, keep necessary materials accessible, and follow the same transaction process consistently. When lines become long, I work efficiently without sacrificing polite service or payment verification. If additional support is available, I would request assistance appropriately. My ability to remain composed helps me provide reliable service even during peak hours consistently. 7. What would you do if a customer presented an expired coupon? I would verify the coupon's validity, expiration date, terms, and applicable product requirements before accepting it. If the coupon meets company guidelines, I would process it correctly and explain any applicable discount clearly. If it is expired or does not meet the conditions, I would politely explain that I cannot accept it and follow store policy. I would avoid making exceptions without authorization. My priority would be treating the customer respectfully while protecting the company's pricing and promotional rules consistently. 8. How would you handle cash responsibly? I would treat cash handling as a serious responsibility because I understand that mistakes can create financial losses and accountability issues. I would count my starting cash carefully, keep the drawer organized, and avoid leaving it unattended. During transactions, I would verify amounts and count change carefully. I would follow procedures for refunds, voids, and cash drops. At closing, I would reconcile the drawer according to company policy. Honesty, attention to detail, and consistency are essential when handling company money responsibly. 9. What would you do if a customer's card payment was declined? I would handle a payment that is declined by staying professional and avoiding embarrassment for the customer. I would politely inform them that the payment did not go through and ask whether they would like to try another approved payment method. I would not speculate about the reason for the decline or discuss private financial information publicly. If the customer needs assistance beyond my role, I would contact a supervisor. My goal would be to resolve the situation discreetly and respectfully for everyone involved. 10. How would you protect customer privacy? I would protect customer privacy by never sharing payment details, personal information, receipts, or account information with unauthorized people. I would follow company procedures for handling cards, returns, loyalty accounts, and sensitive records. I would avoid discussing customer information where others can hear it and would never write down or store payment information improperly. If I noticed a privacy concern, I would report it immediately. Maintaining confidentiality builds customer trust and helps protect both the customer and the company effectively. 11. How do you respond to feedback from a supervisor? I would respond positively to feedback because constructive criticism can help me improve my performance. First, I would listen carefully and make sure I understand the concern. I would avoid becoming defensive and would ask questions if clarification was necessary. Then, I would apply the feedback to future transactions and monitor my progress. If a supervisor identifies an error, I would correct it and learn from the experience. I believe being coachable demonstrates professionalism, maturity, and commitment to improvement at work. 12. How would you greet and interact with customers? I would greet the customer warmly, maintain a professional attitude, and ask how I can help. While processing the transaction, I would remain attentive and avoid unnecessary distractions. I would communicate clearly about prices, discounts, payment methods, and receipts when necessary. After completing the transaction, I would thank the customer and provide any final information they need. Even during short interactions, I believe respectful communication and positive body language can make customers feel valued and appreciated throughout their visit. 13. How would you handle a customer requesting a refund? I would follow company procedures exactly when processing refunds because refund rules protect both customers and the business. I would verify the receipt, product condition, purchase information, and approved payment method according to policy. If the refund required authorization, I would contact the appropriate supervisor rather than making an unauthorized decision. I would explain the process clearly and respectfully to the customer. Following procedures consistently prevents fraud, reduces errors, and ensures customers receive fair and professional service consistently. 14. What would you do during an emergency at the store? I would respond immediately by stopping the transaction if necessary, protecting the area, and informing the appropriate supervisor or security personnel. I would follow the store's emergency procedures rather than attempting to manage a serious situation beyond my training. I would remain calm, provide clear information, and help customers follow instructions when appropriate. I understand that safety comes before sales. After the situation is controlled, I would cooperate with management and provide any relevant details about what happened accurately. 15. How would you handle a conflict with a coworker? I would stay focused on my responsibilities and avoid becoming involved in workplace gossip or unnecessary conflict. If a disagreement directly affected my work, I would communicate respectfully with the coworker and focus on solving the issue. If we could not resolve it professionally, I would ask a supervisor for guidance. I believe teamwork requires patience, communication, and mutual respect. Maintaining a positive working relationship helps the checkout area operate smoothly and provides customers with better service every day. 16. What would you do if you suspected counterfeit currency? I would follow the store's procedures for identifying counterfeit currency rather than relying only on personal judgment. I would carefully inspect the bill using the approved methods and remain discreet and professional. If I suspected a bill was counterfeit, I would avoid accusing the customer and would contact the supervisor according to policy. I would never return suspicious currency simply to avoid confrontation. Following established procedures protects the business while ensuring the customer is treated respectfully throughout the process appropriately. 17. Are you comfortable using point-of-sale technology? Yes, I am comfortable using technology because modern checkout systems often require accuracy and basic technical skills. I can learn point-of-sale systems, barcode scanners, payment terminals, self-checkout assistance tools, and inventory-related functions. When learning unfamiliar equipment, I pay attention during training, practice carefully, and ask questions when needed. If a system problem occurs, I follow troubleshooting procedures and contact the appropriate person rather than guessing. I am confident that I can adapt quickly to new cashiering technology successfully. 18. How would you handle a price dispute? I would remain polite and explain the situation clearly instead of becoming defensive. I would review the price shown by the register, shelf, sign, or company system, depending on store policy. If there is a genuine pricing discrepancy, I would follow the authorized correction procedure. If the customer misunderstood the price, I would explain the applicable information respectfully. If I lacked authority to resolve the disagreement, I would involve a supervisor. My goal would be accuracy, fairness, and customer satisfaction throughout. 19. Are you available to work flexible shifts? Yes, I can work flexible shifts and understand that cashier positions may require evenings, weekends, holidays, or changing schedules. I recognize that retail businesses often experience their busiest periods outside traditional working hours. I would communicate my availability honestly and arrive on time for scheduled shifts. If my availability changes, I would provide appropriate notice whenever possible. Being dependable with scheduling is important because coworkers and customers rely on sufficient staffing for efficient and consistent service every day. 20. How would you manage a long checkout line? I would prioritize the customer in front of me while staying aware of the surrounding checkout area. I would avoid rushing, because speed without accuracy can create larger problems. I would use the established transaction process, communicate clearly, and ask for assistance if the line became unusually long. If management opens another register, I would cooperate quickly. My approach is to balance efficiency, accuracy, and courtesy, so customers move through checkout smoothly without feeling ignored or pressured during busy periods. 21. What would you do if you did not know the answer to a customer's question? I would never guess or provide inaccurate information. I would politely tell the customer that I want to make sure they receive the correct answer, then check the store system, available information, or ask a knowledgeable coworker or supervisor. Once I have accurate information, I would communicate it clearly. I believe admitting when I do not know something is better than giving incorrect information. Customers appreciate honesty, and accurate assistance helps maintain trust in the business and its employees. 22. Are you comfortable working as part of a team? Yes, I would be comfortable working as part of a team, because successful cashier operations depend on cooperation. Cashiers need to communicate with supervisors, customer service staff, stock employees, and other cashiers when issues arise. I would share important information clearly, offer help when appropriate, and respect each coworker's responsibilities. During busy periods, I would stay focused on my role while supporting the team. Good teamwork improves efficiency, reduces mistakes, and creates a better experience for customers overall. 23. What would you do if the register stopped working? I would first identify the problem and determine whether it is something I am trained and authorized to resolve. I would follow the register's approved troubleshooting steps and avoid making changes that could create additional issues. If the problem continued, I would contact a supervisor or designated technical support person. I would explain what happened clearly and help customers move to another register if instructed. Staying calm and following procedures can minimize delays and keep the checkout process organized effectively. 24. How would you treat customers from different backgrounds? I would treat age, appearance, background, language ability, or personal circumstances as irrelevant to the quality of service I provide. Every customer deserves the same basic level of respect, patience, and professionalism. I would follow company policies consistently and avoid making assumptions about anyone. If communication became difficult, I would use approved assistance or ask a supervisor for support. Providing fair service helps create an inclusive environment and demonstrates strong customer service skills for everyone who visits the store. 25. What would you do if you needed to leave your cash register? I would never leave a cashier station unattended without following company procedures. If I needed to step away, I would secure the register or request authorized coverage. I understand that an open register containing cash or sensitive information can create security risks. I would follow all rules concerning breaks, shift changes, and register access. Protecting the drawer and checkout area is part of my responsibility. I would prioritize security while ensuring customers receive continuous service through appropriate coverage procedures. 26. How would you handle a customer who wants to return an item against store policy? I would explain the store's return or exchange policy politely and avoid making promises that I cannot keep. I would check the receipt, product condition, purchase date, and other required information. If the request meets policy, I would process it accurately. If it does not, I would explain the reason respectfully and offer any available alternatives. If the customer remains dissatisfied, I would involve a supervisor. Clear communication can prevent misunderstandings and maintain a professional relationship with the customer throughout. 27. What qualities make a good cashier? Cashiers should be honest, accurate, patient, dependable, attentive, and customer-focused. Strong communication skills are also important because cashiers interact with many different people throughout each shift. A good cashier can remain calm under pressure, follow procedures, handle money responsibly, and work effectively with coworkers. I also believe adaptability matters because stores use different technologies, promotions, and policies. Combining these qualities helps a cashier provide efficient service while protecting company standards and creating positive customer experiences every day. 28. Why should we hire you as a cashier? I believe you should hire me because I bring reliability, attention to detail, honesty, and a strong customer service attitude. I understand that a cashier represents the company during one of the customer's final interactions with the business. I would handle payments carefully, follow procedures, communicate respectfully, and remain calm during busy periods. I am also willing to learn your systems and accept feedback. My goal would be to become a dependable team member who contributes to accurate transactions and satisfied customers consistently. 29. What would you focus on during your first 90 days? In my first 90 days, I would focus on learning the company's policies, point-of-sale system, payment procedures, product information, and customer service standards. I would listen carefully during training, practice transactions, and ask questions whenever something was unclear. I would work toward becoming accurate and efficient while maintaining professional service. I would also build positive relationships with coworkers and supervisors. By the end of the period, I would aim to handle routine transactions confidently and contribute reliably during busy shifts. 30. What are your long-term career goals? My long-term goal is to become a highly dependable employee who can take on greater responsibility as I gain experience. I would like to strengthen my customer service, cash handling, communication, and operational skills. With consistent performance, I would be interested in opportunities such as senior cashier, customer service representative, or supervisory responsibilities if available. I believe growth should come through reliability, learning, and strong results. I would focus first on mastering my cashier responsibilities before pursuing additional responsibilities successfully. Preparing for a cashier interview becomes easier when you understand what employers expect from the role. Focus on accuracy, honesty, customer service, communication, teamwork, and the ability to remain calm during busy situations. Use these 30 questions and answers as practice, but avoid memorizing sentences word for word. Instead, understand the key points and answer naturally with confidence. If possible, include examples from your previous experience to make responses stronger. With preparation, an attitude, and attention to detail, you can make a strong impression and increase your chances of success.